All righty, here it is. It is episode 34 of BetParx Presents the Odd G's podcast. There he is, Harry Mays. What's going on, H?
I'm doing good. I don't know if you noticed this yet on camera, but I am sans mole on my face.
Where was that? You had one taken off there, huh?
I had a big one right here that developed. So I was starting to look like fucking Drew Brees.
Really?
Okay, over the last couple of years. Like it just came out of nowhere. It just showed up on my face, and then it started to get a little bigger. And I had it for a while, a couple of years, and I just never got it checked out because I'm a dope. And finally, I made an appointment at the dermatologist. I go in there, and she's gorgeous, by the way. I've never been attracted to a doctor.
Do you like in Porky's hair? Does it have a mole on it?
Yeah.
Did you ask her to check that out, Harry?
Yeah, exactly. Well, I'm in a
It
gown.
had a mole on it.
I'm in a gown, right? With just my underwear on. It's kind of weird.
Perfect.
So, but she checked out my whole body for, sunspots and whatnot, cancer, and gave me an A+. And I said, well, can I get this removed off my face? She goes, that's not cancer either. That's what they call a barnacle of life is what she called that. And I'm like, what?
Yeah,
I never
medical
heard.
term, Harry?
I don't think so. I never heard that. But
Maybe
I said,
SpongeBob.
how can we get it taken off? And she's like, well, we can either, slice it off or we can freeze it. I go, let's freeze it. Sounded much easier, right?
Yeah.
So she gets this canister out with this like little blowtorch kind of thing on it, sits it right on it, and you could feel it kind of burning and tingling for a while. She did it for about a minute and said, that's it. And I go, now what? And she goes, it'll eventually fall off. It'll come off like a scab.
She killed it.
4 days. Yeah, she just killed it. 4 days later, it was gone. And now, you don't even see anything.
Wow. No scarring or anything?
No. Had I known it was that easy, I'd have done it 3 years ago.
Wow. That's amazing. My wife had one like on her face, and she went, and it was called basal cell carcinoma.
Well, that's cancer.
Yeah. So she had to have this, I forget what the surgery is called.
Mohs surgery. Mohs surgery. Yeah.
So my neighbor over here has this big party every year where they have a band. This time of year in September, they got a band that they cover like the Dead and Zeppelin and everything. It's great party. And it was like a week before that. So she goes into the surgery, and I go to pick her up after. And I walked in, and I was like, oof. Like I was like, you don't even look like you.
Really?
I mean, they carved her. She was racked up. And she's like, do you think I can go to the party? I go, you can go, but you're not going with me.
Wow. So
yeah, it was bad.
Well, what do you mean? Like what? She had a bandage on her face, right?
Yeah, but it was just like, I mean, it was a lot. They really had to go in there, and it was quite frightening looking.
Jesus.
I wasn't expecting that when I went in. I thought it was just like a mole removal.
Right.
But it was like pretty significant.
So it's like radical Mohs surgery or something. I think
yeah.
They call that. Wow. Yep. So
they
got rid of all of it then.
Yeah. She had to clean it. This is like 6 years ago.
Wow.
So, but I walked into that room in Paoli where she had the procedure done by the Paoli Hospital.
Mm-hmm.
And I walked in, I was like, woof.
Wow.
I was like, you look good.
Man. That's terrible.
It was rough.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad I didn't have that.
Yeah. Good on you for going to get that checked out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got to do that as well.
Yeah, you should get checked. I'm outside a lot,
Yeah, so. Yeah, you're always out there playing golf and having the sun hit you. And even if you sunscreen up, it doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter. So
at our age, Howard, we got to get in there and have these routine visits because
I know it sucks.
You have no idea what could be going wrong.
Exactly.
It's all a big mess.
Yeah.
This biology of the human at plus 50. Let's tell people about BetParx football last weekend. Oh my God. What an insane weekend. Even the Sunday night game was great. Monday, everything was fantastic. And it was just so awesome to have so much college football. It felt like fall.
Right.
So I was perusing the BetParx app ad nauseum.
It felt like it should feel.
Yeah. So there was actually something interesting to watch. And maybe baseball will become more interesting again, which we'll get to in this episode.
Oh, yeah. We're going to talk a lot of baseball with our man, Brian O'Grady.
Yep. From Japan, as a matter of fact.
Former major leaguer in major leagues. He's playing over in Japan now for, I think, the Cebu Lions.
Wow.
And he does that Breaking Bats podcast on the Not For Long network.
Yeah. Little cross synergy there, huh?
Exactly. But there's, they got the big rule changes in baseball. So we wanted to get him on to discuss that, because you and I have been bitching and moaning about these very things within this sport for years.
But I was bitching and moaning about it when I worked with Mikey Miss.
Oh, yeah.
And he told me it wasn't possible, that you couldn't do what baseball's doing, because the timeless nature of the sport is what makes it great. I said, it may be what made it great, but it ain't great now.
Exactly.
So, do you have a play this week for the BetParx app? Do you like the Eagles this week?
No, I don't, but I'm not going to give out that I'm going against them. I like Minnesota in that game, but I'm taking the Jaguars +4 against the Colts at home. Your guy, Dougie P.
Oh, wow.
Colts did not look very good last week, and I think
facing Mariota.
Good
or
spot.
Not Mariota.
What?
I don't know why I was thinking Mariota, but
Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah. And Indy, that's an interesting team to me, but you're right. They didn't look good last week.
No, they didn't. They did not look good against the Texans. And I'm also going to take, this is a weird line. The Patriots lost last week, did not look good against Miami.
Ugly.
They are favored at Pittsburgh. And the line was 1.5. It's now 2 on the Parx app. So I'm going with New Orleans. The line's telling me something there, Martinez.
Yes, it
is. I'm taking the Patriots.
There's one line in particular that's screaming at me. When I opened up my paper this morning, I'm like, you opened up a paper? You're the only one that's opening up a paper. They have a delivery driver for the paper. It's 3 houses, and Mikey Misses is one of them. Right. That one was screaming at me. So I guess they're not believing in Mitch Trubisky out there, are they?
I guess not. And they were involved in one of the high drama games in the 1 o'clock window against Cincinnati. Went to overtime.
Yeah.
How about that? The way that game ended, Jamar Chase catches the ball and scores a touchdown with the end of the game. It was at the end of regulation.
Yep.
And they had to kick the extra point to win it. Pittsburgh blocked it. And then they go to overtime. Both kickers from each team, I think, missed a field goal. Yep. And then finally, Pittsburgh kicks a winning field goal. What? Jeez. There were a lot of games that were crazy. The Eagles game got crazy.
It shouldn't have, but it did. You're right, it did. I mean, they were on a rock, as Mikey Miss would say, on a rocket chair ride.
38-21 at the end of the third quarter. You're thinking, my God, they might put 50 on this team.
Yeah, and then the defense just gave up too much.
Yeah.
They got a little complacent, I think, in that one. But if you want to get in on the action, you can bet player performances, same game parlays, live in-game betting, futures, you name it, all your props, teasers, and all that, different kind of alternate lines. It's all there on the BetParx app. The alternate lines are fun as well if you got a real good feeling on something. So pick up the BetParx app and use the promo code Jason750. That'll get you a risk-free bet up to $750. Terms and conditions do apply. That's for new and existing users. So grab the BetParx app today. Do you need to be present in Pennsylvania or New Jersey? Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Right. Now, I was just running around. My brother's moving into a place. So I had to drop a piece of furniture I had here that was my mom's when she passed, a nice lazy boy, like a big recliner. So I brought that over. We put it into his new place. And then I picked him up and we went out to my brother-in-law's place to pick up some stuff from there and then drive back to his place to unload it and then come back home to do the show.
What are you?
I'm that asshole with the truck now.
You're like an over-the-road truck driver.
Yeah, 2 men in a truck is not it. It's me and a truck.
Yeah, but I mean, that's the problem with having a truck.
Yeah.
Because anytime, most people have, maybe an SUV or one of the smaller SUVs. They're not really capable of carrying cargo.
Not a bed or a couch, yeah.
Right. You might be able to throw a golf bag or two in the back, but that's about it.
Maybe a hockey bag.
Right. So anytime anybody needs something, they're like, who do I know that's got a truck?
Yep.
Yeah. And what do they do? They give you gas money?
Wait, they dial up 1-800-ASSHOLE, and that's me who answers the phone.
Yeah, but I mean, do they give you gas money? Because those trucks, I mean, those are like V6s, V8s. They eat up a lot of gas.
Yeah. Well, it's my brother, so I didn't charge him. I was happy to help him out, but it's a pain in the ass moving shit. He's on the second floor. I got to move this shit upstairs. Jacked up my foot. It's like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
It's just a total pain in the ass moving. That's why I'm never moving.
Yeah. Well, I'm moving. I'm eventually moving to Florida, but I will have people come do that for me.
Yeah, exactly. That's the move.
Yeah. That's the move. Right.
My solution to a lot of problems is pay someone to do it.
Exactly. I try to stimulate the economy.
Yes.
But because the only move I'm going to be making in that trip is me getting in the car and driving my vehicle to Florida.
Yeah,
they're bringing all this other shit.
Yeah, it's funny because you're going to end up going south to Florida, and I'm going to end up going north to like Calgary.
You are
eventually,
For real?
yeah. I'd love to.
Wow.
I got to get out of this heat. It's been nice out the last couple of days, but I need a longer winter here. I need a 10-month winter.
It's been gorgeous this last couple of days, and I tell you, I know we're recording this on a Thursday night, but did you know that the game tonight is only on Amazon? Can you imagine how many people are going to try to find the Chargers-Chiefs game on the NFL Network or CBS or NBC or whatever, and it's not going to be on? They'll be like, "What the fuck?"
Oh, they're going to flip out.
How do I get that
demo's in for a rude awakening.
Exactly. You imagine?
Wouldn't they deliver the game to my house as a package?
What would it sound like in Angelo Cataldi's house tonight as he's searching for Amazon?
Amazon? What? That's a river. Dale. Prime? He'd be freaking out. This is horrible.
Right.
Get Rhea on the phone.
Oh,
he'd be freaking out.
He probably has to call Rhea to find out how to pull up Amazon Prime on his TV.
There's no way he's watching that game. Like, first, it's too late for him.
Well, that's true. Yeah,
he's already in bed.
He's already in bed.
Oh, he's in bed by 6:30.
Yeah.
When I worked with Angelo Cataldi at WIP, we had to send him all the stuff for the next day's show. We had to get it to him by 6:30 because he was in bed by 7. And he is religious about it. I mean, he gets into the station at like 3:00 in the morning.
Right.
And he used to walk in. Big Daddy's wrapping up the snack segment in the first hour of the show. You got the Pringle versus the Munchos. The whole thing.
Oh, I love Munchos.
I do too. I found a bag in my cabinet the other day. I put Munchos on my sandwich. I haven't had them in 10 years.
Well, the bag was probably 10 years old.
Yeah, well, that stuff never dies, Harry. That's the stuff you find out in a nuclear shelter, fallout shelter.
Yeah, they're
I think Angie's doomsday prepping. Yeah,
they're like chemical chips.
But they don't even call them potato chips.
No.
There's no potato involved.
No, there's not a potato within 10 miles of a bag of Munchos.
But I haven't even seen them like in the store in forever.
They had that orange bag, right? It was kind of an orange.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I look back and I'm like, are those Munchos? And the old lady must have picked up a bag. So I squashed them into a sandwich.
Oh, yeah. She was probably all baked up on the edibles.
Oh, yeah. Well, good question. Totally buckled. So she went last week, Harry. Right. I think I told you this. Last week was her card was expiring. The medical marijuana
the medical card. Yeah.
So it was expiring on Sunday. So she had to go to the dispensary on Saturday. She's like, I need to take the truck. Because she got a they brought out a pallet.
So there was like a forklift that lifted a skid and put a pallet right into the back of your truck of edibles.
Yeah, all kinds of stuff.
Oh man.
Yep. Yeah, she came home. It was like you went on one of those old school like shopping sprees on a television network.
Wow.
You get to empty the shelves. That's what she did at Beyond Hello.
That's awesome.
We got to get Beyond Hello as a sponsor. That'd be perfect. if you're an owner or a proprietor of Beyond Hello, hit us up with an email. We'd love to have you sponsor the program. And we'll partake in some of the stuff before the program as well.
Now, did you send Brian the link?
I did, yeah.
Okay.
So we're just waiting on him. Let me make sure it went through. I'm just looking at my sent here. Yeah, it did. Right to his email.
All right.
Yeah. Did he?
He's over in Japan. I mean, I don't even know what time it is over there.
Yeah. Matter of fact, let's look and see what time it is over there.
I mean, it's probably at least 6-7 hours. Well, Hawaii's 5 hours, right, ahead of us. So it's got to be like about 7 hours ahead of us.
Wow. It's September 16th there, Har. 9 in the morning.
9 in the morning?
Yeah, 9 a.m.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, what's
That's
that?
13 hours.
13 hours ahead of us. Yeah.
Holy crap.
Yeah, that's no joke.
Yeah, ahead because Hawaii's 5 hours behind us.
Yeah.
So you got to go the other way around.
I want to live on the border of that time zone where they're behind us, 10 feet to the left, you're ahead of us, 10 feet to the right, you're behind us. You know what I mean?
Where's that? What the Greenwich? What's that? What's that line? That the date line.
Yeah.
Like
I'd
where
like to
tomorrow becomes today, and
today.
yeah.
Yeah. So I could literally go back in time and redo my day.
Exactly.
Or if I don't want to deal with a Monday, I just can move ahead in time.
Just
Go right
move
to
ahead.
Tuesday.
Yeah.
That's the perfect place
good.
to live.
Yeah, it probably is.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah,
So these
today's gonna rain. I'm gonna go to tomorrow.
Yeah, I don't feel like dealing with this weather today. I'm going to go right to Tuesday.
I'm not dealing with this today.
Could you see the colonel over there dealing with that?
Oh.
What day is it? I don't know. Could be Monday. Could be Saturday. I don't know. He'd be so confused. He's probably so confused already with not working because he just basically sits in that
recliner.
Yeah, in the lazy boy.
Yeah.
With his dog or his cat on the top of it.
Yeah.
And sits there and just works the batteries overtime on his remote.
Now, do you think he found Amazon tonight for the game?
No chance.
No.
With that modem, Harry, he's going to be watching a really old game.
He might be watching John Hadel against Len Dawson, Chargers Chiefs back in like 1970.
Hank Schramm is running up and down the sidelines, and he's going, "What is going on here?"
Yes.
Great game.
Ed Podolak is in the backfield for the Chiefs.
Wow.
The former Iowa great.
Oh, the Iowa Hawkeye?
Yes.
Oh, wow. That
Number 14, Eddie Podolak.
Yeah, there's no way he's finding that game tonight.
No chance. Right.
Now, are you preparing, Harry? You know, in light of the rookie camp starting for the hockey season to come here? Are you getting to get pumped up?
Yeah, I'm getting all fired up.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You ready for it?
Yeah.
I think the Flyers are going to be better than people think. And that's just not me being a company man.
Well, okay, better than people think. People think they're going to suck out loud. So, I mean, anything above that is better than people think.
Well, the thing is
right,
if they get players back and healthy, like if they had healthy players last year, it would have never been that bad.
28 days till the first game.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow. 4 weeks from tonight. Wow.
Matter of fact, I'll be at the barn in 9 days for the first preseason game, I believe, against the Bruins.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Boy,
and the rookie game this weekend's against the Providence Bruins.
Nothing gets the loins excited more than preseason hockey.
I'll tell you.
Let me tell you.
Even I hate it. Even I can't. I'm like, Jesus Christ. We got 7 of these. And I got to do every single game.
Do you really?
It's dreadful. Like the last 2 are okay because it's basically your NHL roster. But it's still, it doesn't mean anything, and you know it.
Yeah.
You're just like, let's just get this thing going. I got 82 games in front of me.
Yeah.
Let's just start now. The faster we start, the faster we get to the playoffs, is the way I look at it. And I like the full 82. I think we're going to get stood up by Brian O'Grady.
Yeah, I think so too.
Maybe he overslept on his Friday.
This is not looking good here. I mean, we're trying to cross promote.
Did Egan book this guest?
Exactly. The other great things that we have here on Not For Long.
Yeah, let's tell people about, matter of fact, before we do get Brian, if he does come on, let's tell him about one of our great sponsors, Fudge Kitchen.
Oh, yeah, the official sponsor of Not For Long Media and the Odd G's podcast. The original Fudge Kitchen, you know it, it's a staple of the Jersey Shore, Jason, with 6 locations in Cape May, Wildwood, Stone Harbor, and Ocean City. The original Fudge Kitchen makes all of their fudge in the store, guaranteeing a delicious product. So stop by and let them know that N for L sent you. If you're not able to visit in person, no problem, because they ship fudge across the USA. Be sure to check them out at fudgekitchens.com. The original Fudge Kitchen, shipping fudge and sweet treats across the country. I could go for a little fudge.
Is fudge one of those, a top 3 like category of summertime food around here? Like at the shore. Like you got the saltwater taffy, you got funnel cake.
Yeah.
You got custard ice cream. Like
I'm
those
not
are
big
all
on the saltwater taffy. I got to be.
I'm not either.
Yeah,
I always thought it was better sounding than it actually was.
Yeah. It
but
sticks
fudge
to
is
your
up
teeth and stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's too gummy.
Yeah. No, I love the fudge. I'm not big on the funnel cakes either. There's a lot of funnel
good for
cakes.
2 bites of the funnel cake. That's it.
Yeah, it's got that powdered sugar or whatever on there. That's big up here in the
sugar.
Yeah, confectionery sugar. Up here in like Pennsylvania Dutch country, they do that too. At the various like summer carnivals and stuff. And I never liked it, but I love the fudge.
Yeah, I do too. I love the fudge down the shore
It's
and the
decadent.
custard.
Yeah,
Yeah,
custard's good too. Yeah.
yeah, and it's just one of those things that reminds me of like being on the boardwalk,
Mm-hmm.
sandy feet, the whole thing. So,
Right.
yeah, I
The
absolutely love it.
seagull taking a shit
Yeah,
on your head.
that's good luck.
That happened to me.
You got turd on the head?
Not on the head. It was actually kind of on the, this part, like upper chest of my t-shirt one
Wow.
summer. Yeah, it was disgusting. So I had to duck into like one of these little stores on the boardwalk and use their bathroom to get it. It was just, it's fucking,
Oh,
it's
it's
like
punchy.
freaking, yeah, it's terrible. It's all
Yeah,
different colors and stuff.
yeah. Because assholes are feeding the seagulls like cheese curls on the beach, shit like that. That's why the shit stinks.
Exactly.
I'll tell you what, Howard. I was down in Ocean City, Maryland.
Yeah.
They're really strict down there about letting the seagulls get any food.
Yeah. Really?
Much stricter. I mean, down the Jersey Shore, people, it's like a buffet on the beach.
Well, how do they enforce it?
If they're like they beach patrol people, if they see you feeding them, you get
They got
fined.
like a seagull Nazi
Mm-hmm.
coming around.
Yeah,
Wow.
the seagull Gestapo. They come and they give you a warrant.
Are the seagull Gestapo, are they Russian girls by any chance down in Ocean City, Maryland?
I'd be up there.
It was a huge Russian girl population down there.
Oh, I guess that Brian's time is different. Is not 9 a.m. because he just said he just woke up. It was the middle of the night in Japan. Oh, I guess. I mean, I Googled it. It says 9 a.m.
I thought we were supposed to do this at this time. I don't want to wake this guy up.
Yeah, I don't want to do that. This was the time given to us. The time that I have is in Tokyo. I don't know where he's at in Japan, though. Japan's kind of long, isn't it?
Yeah, it's
like an island.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how long it is, but it might extend from like Jersey, down to like Virginia or something. That might be the size of it.
Yeah. Okay. I'm just going to tell him I sent you the link to that email, so he should have it. So we'll see if he logs on. But these baseball rules, I am fascinated by this. So give people the rundown, Harry, of what they're finally willing to do, because this is long overdue.
Yeah, and this is stuff that you and I have been screaming about for a long time.
Last week, right?
Yeah, I mean, we talked about it. We've talked about this regularly on the Odd G's podcast.
Talked about this back on the radio show.
Yeah, we did. There's three big rule changes that are going into effect. First of all, there's going to be a pitch timer. Okay, so no longer will you have, there's going to be a time limit when a guy has to get back into the batter's box. There's not going to be all this, stepping out all the time, redoing the gloves, checking the hat, touching your dick, and all this bullshit that these guys do in between every goddamn pitch. They're going to have to be in the box in a certain time, and the pitcher's going to have to deliver the pitch within a certain time. Or if the batter is the guy who's late, they're going to give him a strike. If the pitcher is late, they're going to give him a ball. It's pretty cool. And limits on the defensive shift, too, which I know bugs the shit out of you.
Oh, that's the one.
Oh,
it's
awful.
One.
So now you're going to have two infielders on either side of second base. You can't load everybody over to the first and second base side, because the guy always hits it over there. So I like that. And they're also enlarging the bases by a couple of inches. Now, I didn't know why they'd be doing this, but apparently it's for safety reasons, mostly. So let's say, you got a bang play at first base, and, the first baseman is now going to be able to have his foot, up against the big, but it's going to be an extra 2.5, 3 inches further away from the middle, which is where the guy's going to come in with his cleat. So they're trying to eliminate injuries. Also plays at second base, guys sliding in there, for maybe a stolen base, that kind of thing. So those are the three big things. This pitch clock, between pitches, there will be a 15-second timer with the bases empty, and a 20-second timer with runners on base.
Okay.
And there's also going to be a 30-second timer between batters. So that means after an out is retired or, had, or a guy gets on base, that other batter's got 30 seconds to get up there and get in the box.
Yep.
He can't be in the batter's circle, swinging,
with the donut on the bat
4 or 5 more times with a couple of donuts on it, eat a fucking donut in the dugout and then come out. He's got to get in there.
I could see you as an umpire, Harry, be like, you have got to get up here faster.
You have got to get faster. Now, the pitch timer, they say, reduced the average time in the minor leagues of a game by 26 minutes.
Yep.
That's almost a half hour. That's a big deal.
And it didn't affect batting average, runs scored, or all these different statistical categories like they all said it would. It didn't affect it. They were pretty much flat the same with the pitch clock in place.
The pitcher must begin his motion to deliver the pitch before the expiration of the timer. If he violates it, he's charged with an automatic ball. Batters who violate the timer charged with an automatic strike. Batters must be in the box and alert to the pitcher by the 8-second mark, or else they get a strike.
Wow.
I mean, this is a lot more stringent than I thought it would be if this was ever implemented. You know what I mean?
Boy, there's a lot of like stopwatches going on here.
I know.
Stopwatch for the batter, stopwatch for the pitcher.
Right.
All these different countdown clocks. I mean, it's going to look like me and you at a game with our phones.
The Phillies might have to hire some more people. Maybe I can get a job doing, timing this shit.
You'd be good at that.
Yeah.
And when somebody doesn't get up there in time, like you're
get out.
Like, what is going on back there?
Now, the defensive shift limits. Teams must have a minimum of 4 players on the infield with at least 2 completely on either side of second base. So that's good. They
have to be in the dirt too, Har.
Yes.
They can't be like playing shallow left.
Right. The league-wide batting average on balls in play of 291 is 6 points lower than what it was in 2012 and 10 points lower than what it was in 2006. And that's the thing that you and I, screamed about the most. There's not enough balls in play.
Exactly. Jason Stark put it out. This is probably a year ago now, where the numbers bared out over like a 3-season stretch that the average time that the ball was in play real time, like if you go to the game real time, was 7.5 minutes. Every 7.5 minutes of the time that you're there, 3.5, 4 hours, there was actually a ball in play. That's why I said literally you're going to watch grass grow.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think the number was like the average amount of balls in play in an average Major League Baseball game over those 3 seasons was like 11.
Wow.
So you're paying all that money to see 11 plays happen.
Yeah.
Other than that, you're seeing guys itch their balls.
And that being said, it's kind of funny that we're, bitching and complaining about this right now, because the Phillies, I got to be honest with you. I told you I started watching them for some reason when Harper went down.
Yeah.
And they caught my interest, and they're playing well, and they're in the playoff chase right now. They're in the wild card and all that kind of good stuff, even dealing with injuries. Wheeler's down. Eflin was out for a long, long time. He's back on the roster now. You had Harper down and, Segura, and they got all these guys back now, except Wheeler. He's still got to come back. But they're going to be in the playoffs, at least for a wild card game. I don't even know what they do anymore. They've changed it. They seem to have changed it a lot over the last couple of years.
Yeah,
so it might be a one-game wild card playoff, I guess, is probably what we're going to get. But, hey.
Anything can happen there.
They've caught my interest. They really are, because they are kind of fun to watch. They got a lot of players that I kind of like.
Okay, well, let me put you to the test then.
Yeah.
Let me put you to this test. If these 3 things are on television, which are you watching? Are you watching a Phillies 1-game wild card? Or are you watching an Eagles whatever game playing the Giants or whoever? Mm-hmm. Or if there is like a TPC at Sawgrass final round, what are you going to watch?
Well, that's not possible, because TPC Sawgrass is in fucking March.
Yeah. All right. Okay, well, take the golf out of it. Just go head to head then. An Eagles regular season game or a Phillies 1-game playoff?
I will take the Phillies 1-game playoff because it means more.
Okay.
It does.
Let's be honest.
It's an elimination game.
What you will have, though, is 2 screens going.
Well, of course I will.
Yeah.
I mean, I have that advantage, but
yeah.
If I only had one TV, I would pay more attention, at least for the start of the game. For the first couple of innings, I'd be more interested in the Phillies because it's a playoff game.
Yeah. and you see how it's going through, a period of time before maybe the football game goes on television.
Right.
Which TV do you have the sound on? Because you can watch baseball without sound.
Yes, you can.
Very
Sometimes it's better, especially with certain broadcast crews.
Absolutely.
Oh my.
Oh my is right.
Oh my.
Geez. Oh, by the way, did you see him taking the pitcher out the other night? Gabe went in. I forget the pitcher, guy with a big beard, and Gabe went out there to take him out of the game. Guy hands him the ball and says something to him, and Gabe kind of snaps his head back. And then they show I saw it on Twitter. And then they showed Gabe grabbing him in the dugout and walking him down like to the tunnel to the clubhouse to go have a conversation.
Is that right?
Yeah. I forget who tweeted it out. But yeah, Gabe got into it with a player. I'm sure the player was like you fucking manage him by the iPad or something like that, right? And Gabe was probably like, oh my. That's exactly how I managed just to win the best record in baseball last year.
Yeah, then they're under 500 this year. Okay.
Yeah, the fallout has already taken place there.
Yeah,
he was swimming above his head, but I'm looking forward to all these rules. I would be watching the football. I would have the Phillies on as well, on probably a side television because the action, and I would have the sound on the football game because I think you can get way more analysis out of a football game.
Yeah.
Plus, they're unbiased announcers.
Right.
I mean, if you're in the playoffs, I guess you're going to get a national broadcast team anyway.
Yeah, I would think so.
So, but I would have the football with the announcing because I think the baseball, it doesn't add a tremendous amount if I have to pick one or the other. That's what I would do. Yeah. And I probably have the Flyers, preseason game on screen 3.
Well, you'd have to have that on there because you're probably going to do a post-game show or something.
Yeah, I mean, here in the studio, I have 4 screens total.
Do you really?
So I have the TV, which is up right here to my right. Mm-hmm. I have the computer that I'm on right here, and that has another monitor, which is right here to my left. Okay. And then I have another MacBook right here, so I can have all these screens going. Right. Now, I do need to upgrade to dual TVs.
Yeah.
So I have the main screen TV and a sub TV next to it. I got enough wall space where I can take some of this shit down and put it up there. I mean, I got like my little mini dime bag guitar right here above my head,
The mini. Oh, the mini.
It's a little mini dime bag.
Because you got the other one behind you.
Yeah, that's the miniature version of that one right there.
Right. Now, is that a Jackson guitar? What kind of guitar is that?
That's actually the miniature version here is a Dean.
Oh, a Dean. Okay.
But the one behind me was from his years when he was with Washburn.
Oh, okay.
They had the contract for the dime bolt and the dime bag guitars.
Okay.
But he went back to Dean, and that original Dean with the lightning bolts is called the Dean from Hell. Mm-hmm. He won that in a competition, and that's why he started playing Deans when he was like 17 years old.
Oh, wow.
So,
now, Brian says he's going to join us at 8:30.
Okay. So we got a few minutes. We can talk about some other things. I picked this up, too, the other day.
The hell is that?
It's like a baby face.
Yeah.
But it's like really freaky looking.
Yeah. Well, Aton used to have something like that on his screen, like on his green screen behind him. It was very disturbing.
Yeah. I just put another new shelf in the studio. So I'll show you right here. So that's the side shelf there.
Okay. Yeah.
So you got a couple buckets up there.
You got the goalie mask. Yeah.
Masks. And we got the little Bernie mask there in the middle.
Right.
Hellraiser over here, Pinhead.
Right.
And then the other shit there too.
Yeah. It's a good room you got there.
Well, I live in it.
Yeah.
It's got to be good.
Good room. Here he comes.
All right, let's get to Brian here. Coming to you a lot. I don't think we've had a guest as far away as Japan, Harry.
No, we have not.
Are we going to get charged long distance service on this interview?
I think so. I think Not For Long is covering the long distance charges.
All right. Remember that when you get a roommate in college, I would always call the 900 numbers and you get the phone bill. It was through the roof.
Right. That's going to go against Colin's practice squad paycheck.
Well, we won't keep him on too long. See if we have Colin to bring something home for him.
There he is.
Brian O'Grady joining us on the Odd G's podcast. What's going on, Brian?
What's up, guys? Sorry, I was told 8:30, so I didn't mean to be late.
Oh, no problem, man.
I apologize for that, man.
What time is? You're in Japan, right? And what time is it over there?
I'm in Japan, and it is 9:23 in the morning right now.
In the morning. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm 13 hours ahead of East Coast time.
Wow. So you're already in Friday.
Yep. I'm in the future.
We'll be sleeping when you're at happy hour.
That's right. Exactly.
Now, tell us, when I introduce you, because you do the Breaking Bats podcast on Not for Long, and professional baseball player in major leagues. I believe you played for Cincinnati, San Diego, Tampa Bay. Your various, minor league stints, and you played at Rutgers in college, and you're an Archbishop Wood guy. But tell us about how you got to Japan and what it's like to live over there as an American and play baseball.
So I got here. This is basically thought of as the second best league in the world outside, MLB being the best.
Right.
A step up from AAA, better than anything else in the minor leagues. So for me, I was kind of a late bloomer. I made some adjustments later in my career that I really took off. So I got my chance kind of in the big leagues, but I never really got an opportunity to just play every day. I was pinch hitting or, it was a spot start every once in a while. And really, that's a really, really hard thing to do in baseball. Yeah. Sitting there for 7 innings and then coming in to face the closer or, whatever it is nowadays is a tough job. And people know that in baseball. But so my numbers in the major leagues have never been great because that's really what I've been doing. My numbers in AAA are phenomenal. So for me, I have nothing left to prove in AAA. The only thing I have to prove is in the major leagues. So I still had options left too, which is a whole nother thing in baseball that I could be sent up and down freely. So coming to Japan gave me opportunity for some good guaranteed money as well as to show what I could do over a course of a full season that was not in AAA. For me, if I hit 300 with 30 homers in AAA again, it wouldn't have really changed any minds from the MLB. So that's how I ended up here. It's crazy, man. I'm looking forward to being back in America so I can not totally stick out like a sore thumb and blend in a little bit more and just kind of be back to being normal again. So that'll be fun. But the people here are great. It's baseball. It's really good baseball. The fans, they love it. I'm having a good time. But yeah, that is one big thing. I'm 6'2", 225 pounds, blonde hair, and I take the train to the field and everything, so I stick out pretty easy here. Everyone knows it's
You're
me.
the tallest guy there.
Yep, exactly. So it's
pickup game of hoops. You're playing center.
Well,
here you're a point guard.
Speaking of hoops, I heard he was a pretty good hoop player too. Colin told me that this guy could dunk like standing on his 2 feet in 9th grade or something like that. Like, this guy's a real athlete.
I was I could play back in the day. Those days are a little gone. But I started putting some weight on and some muscle on in college. In high school I was 6'1" or 6'2", whatever, 175 pounds, and I was flying around the basketball court and leading off, playing center field. So things have changed since then. But I could back then when me and Colin were with each other all the time, I could definitely do
it. See, the reason, Harry, why he still had options here.
Yeah.
Why he didn't want to deal with that? Because a lot of people don't realize this. When you have options as a pro athlete and you can go up and back and not have to pass through waivers, it also means that your paycheck's a lot smaller when you're down there compared to when you're up there.
Right.
Just because you sign like a $2 million deal, if you're not in the majors, you're not getting the $2 million, right?
It depends on the deal.
Like if it's a one-way, then you get paid the same no matter what. But if you have a two-way deal, you get like 10% of that.
Yeah. So my last when I signed with San Diego before the 2021 season, it was called a split contract. So it put me on the 40-man roster, and I was making a certain amount in the major leagues, and then I was making another amount in AAA, which it was good. It was good money for not being in the major leagues for sure. But it was half of what I was making when I was in the major leagues.
Yeah, it's not that fuck you money like so many of those guys have.
No, that's not that.
I want that kind of stuff. Now, Brian, it's funny because you're in Japan, and Harry, I don't even know if I've ever told you this story. When I was in college, I was going to go to Japan when I graduated to teach basic English to Japanese people.
Oh my God.
And the reason why I wanted to go was really simple. I fucking love Asian women.
Well, yeah. I married one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was going to go. But the thing that fucked it up for me is I have a job in radio already.
Yeah.
From when I was a junior in college, I was working full time in radio, so I couldn't just ditch that because I wanted to make radio a career. And look where it led me. Me here.
Doing a show with me.
I was going to go there and teach English. What's like the lifestyle like over in Japan? Like, first of all, Japanese women are beautiful.
Hey man, I'm married. I don't pay attention to any of that stuff.
So am I. Why do you think I'm trying to go to Japan now?
No, they
cheating, hun. It's 13 hours ahead. How would you know?
Well, I'll tell you what really blew my mind when I came here. It's so safe here. And now growing up in Philly, I don't live in Philly anymore, but you know how things have kind of gone in that city. It's my first day here. I was all nervous to take the train by myself, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which is like here, that's what most people do. Kids who are 5 years old here will take the train by themselves to school in their little like uniforms. I swear. It's not like the elves. It's not like the elf. So that's when I'm sitting there like cracking up. I'm nervous taking this train. And there's this little kid going to like preschool by himself or herself.
The SpongeBob on the backpack on the whole thing.
Yeah, literally, exactly. So it's just super safe. Everybody, the train is such a big thing here. I do it. That's literally how I get to the field and home, taking the bullet train, stuff like that. But it's just a respectful, everybody says hello to you. Like things like that are definitely going to be weird when I come back home and, when you like walk by somebody and they're just going to,
they won't even look at you.
And they're like, yeah. And I'm going to be like,
it's like being in Wisconsin. I got the shit kicked out of me in Wisconsin one time. Forget it. Remember that in Stripes?
Oh
yes, God. I do.
It's the Czech Republic, Czechoslovakia. It's like going to Wisconsin.
All right, let's get to the baseball stuff because a lot of big news came out a couple of days ago. And Jason and I was a huge baseball fan as a kid all the way through, the Phillies run. And I started to lose touch with it after the Phillies got bad and the analytics seemed to take over the game. And there just wasn't enough balls in play to keep my interest. So Jason and I would bitch and moan about all these things that we wish baseball would do. And now Major League Baseball has done a few of them. In the last couple of days, they come out with these new rules that are going to be instituted next season where there's no more shift. There's a pitch clock. And they're also enlarging the bases a couple of inches, too, I think more for safety reasons. But, do you think that these changes were warranted, too, as a player? Or, what's your reaction to this?
I have a few different reactions. The shift, I'm a lefty. I hit lefty. I have some pop. So typically the shift is put on pretty heavy when I am
right
playing.
Side.
No, but regardless, even I hit the ball well the other way too. When everything's going right, but it doesn't matter. They would still play the percentages and do that. So I will be getting more hits from the shift being banned, which I will gladly take.
Exactly.
Absolutely. I don't like the fact that they're telling teams they can't line people up in a certain way that they think is going to help them win the game. That's I just don't, that bothers me a little bit. Yeah. Like you're taking away that strategy, which, like I said, will give me more hits and will give some guys more hits. And that's great because you're right. I do think more fans will watch if there's more balls in play and more hits and things like that. Pitching has become so dominant and so good that it just,
you can't hit the ball the other way because they know where to put it, so you can't.
That's I've said this a bunch. It's like Tony Gwynn was one of one.
Yeah,
there's not another Tony Gwynn. He was unbelievable. And guys can handle the bat and can hit, no doubt, but it's the pitching is just so good these days, and I don't think a lot of people appreciate how truly hard it is to hit in general. So if the shift brings about more hits, or banning the shift, brings about more hits, great, love it. The pitch clock, I think it'll help speed up the game some. It depends on the guy. Of course, there's guys who take a ridiculous amount of time to throw the ball or get in the box or whatever it is. And I see here in Japan, it's very different. In between innings, the pitchers get 5 pitches max. They're literally like on the side of the field warming up while there's 2 outs and we're hitting. So that makes it go faster. And then once they're in the game throwing, I mean, I've seen 6 pitches thrown in like 10 seconds here when you get the right pitcher and the right hitter who are just like throwing it, and he swings, but he's like right back in the box. But that's
like
just
Jim Cott.
Yeah, that's just kind of how they do it. But
wow.
I mean, I thought earlier in the year here we were really playing faster games. I'm like, okay, maybe there's something to this. Like, there's no messing around here. It's right to the action, and we're getting after it. Recently, we've been playing some really long games, so I don't know how much of a difference it's going to make. I did it in the minors too, but if it takes time off, that's phenomenal. My other question is though, the clock hits 0, it's supposed to be a ball. If the batter's not ready at, I think 8 seconds, it's supposed to be a strike.
Right.
Yeah. If Aaron Judge is up with 2 strikes in New York in a big game,
can you imagine that?
7 seconds hits, you think that guy's making that call? I mean, I don't think so. Maybe he will. Point. He might get murdered, but we'll see what happens there. And the same when it hits 0. So I think in the beginning they got to enforce it and go from
hard
there.
rule.
But, but it's the players. Listen, the players aren't going to like it because they all voted no. For whatever that reason was, they all voted no. So they're saying it's just imposed. And listen,
they can grouse.
I think baseball does really well, does better than people give it credit for when they talk about it in the media and stuff. But at the same time, do we need to make whatever little tweaks we can to make the game move a little bit faster or have a little more action? Absolutely.
Yeah. I read somewhere where in minor leagues they've been doing this, and it's sped up the game by an average of 26 minutes, just the pitch clock. I mean, that's almost a half hour. That's kind of a big deal.
I would say that's a significant amount of time. Yeah, absolutely. If it's 8 minutes, I mean, who cares?
Right. That's right.
Even 10. If you're talking if you're talking a half hour, then it's absolutely worth it. And like I said, they've been doing it in the minors. And listen, guys like to refocus in between each pitch, kind of, we'll say, or clear their head of the last one and redo it. So guys will just have to do it faster. And I think over time it'll lead to faster games, which, listen, as players, I don't want to sit out there for 4 hours either. So that works for us.
Right.
Let me ask you this about because the second level of this is what I'm really interested in when it comes to the shift. So you're up there, you're a lefty, and you're a dead pull hitter. So they're loading up the right side anytime you're at the plate. So you're trying to hit the ball the other way. It becomes it's just in your head, I'm hitting it into all this defense, or I have to try and hit it the other way. But now, because they can't shift, that you can hit it the other way, and there's gaps. If I pull it, I have a good chance of getting a hit. So I imagine from a mental standpoint, as a hitter now, the whole field is open to you. So you don't have to worry about trying to hit to an area because they can't overload one side of the field to an exaggerated extent. So now you can go up there free of mind and just grip and rip. I think that it's going to bring hitting in baseball to a whole new level because you're going to hit more home runs because you're not worried about pulling the ball. You're just worried about getting good contact again.
Yeah, that's probably true. I think
of these weird fucked up angles.
In the major leagues, everybody talks about the launch angle and fly balls and stuff, and it's all kind of buzzword bullshit, to be honest with you. But everybody is trying to hit line drives, really. So as a lefty, once the shift came, yeah, if you hit a ground ball, it's like 99%. It's an out. It's just how it was. But in general, in the major leagues, the defenses in the infield are so good that if you hit a ground ball, it's probably 95% of the time an out too, just because guys are that good. They get there and they're that good at fielding it and throwing it. Now it's going to give you more holes. So righties definitely would get more ground ball hits because that hole was bigger between short and third than the lefties would. So you're right. Being more relaxed, not worrying about, I can't hit this ball over here, will probably lead to more homers and better contact in general, because yes, you'll be more relaxed about it, and my blood pressure won't be going through the roof when I smoke a line drive to right field for an out in the shift.
Will there be more runners in motion now too? Because like this stealing a base is a lost art. Like if you look at Ricky Henderson's last full season, he's got more than triple the amount of stolen bases of the leader in the major league now, and that was when he was like 45 years old.
They actually think that this enlarging the base pads or the bases is going to give these guys a chance to, because it's going to shorten the distance by about 3-6 inches or something. I mean, it's that
and more area to grab, right, Har?
Yeah.
I hope it does. I think that's a cool part of the game, and you're right. People got away from it because it goes back to the money ball stuff. You know, I pay you to get on base, not get thrown out trying to steal second. Yeah. So, but especially with the video replay nowadays, every inch counts. So if you're giving a guy another 3 inches, man, that's a big difference between being in there and being out, when they're zooming in and slowing it down and seeing if his fingertips got on the bag. So I hope it does. Again, catchers have gotten so good at throwing the ball.
Unbelievable. They're all Benito Santiago now.
Yeah, Real Muto is just
he's
unbelievable
awesome.
throwing the ball down the second, man. So but I hope it makes teams more aggressive and play that way, because at the end of the day too, man, I think people get nervous to put pressure on those guys. You know, Real Muto and guys like that get so much respect for throwing the ball that guys are
fuck it, stay away.
I remember we were playing the Phillies. I was with the Reds, and I forget who was pitching for him, but he was super slow to the plate. And I'm like, said my first base coach, I'm like, man, I got him. Like, let me go. And he's like, you fucking nose behind the plate right now. And I'm like, what's it matter? You know, I know, but what's it matter if I'm already 3/4 of the way to second base when he gets the ball? You know, I'm not trying to steal it off him. I'm trying to steal it off the pitcher. So I hope so, because stealing is definitely it's action, man. And like we said, we want more action.
Bingo.
Well, speaking of the Phillies, I assume they're your team. Maybe I shouldn't assume, but I assume they are, since you're from the area. How much do you get to pay attention, given the time difference and the fact that you're playing ball? I mean, how much can you pay attention to Major League Baseball and the Phillies right now?
Yeah, they're definitely still my hometown team. You know, I can't leave them. I like my my guys from the Rays and the Padres. I still keep in touch with. So,
sure.
And then now with the podcast, I make sure I keep up a little bit more, because it is weird being, this is my first year not being involved directly with it. So I can be more of a fan of the league in general. But my dad's a huge Phillies fan, watches all the games, and like we did growing up. So still talk to him about all that stuff. I really like their team. We just had him on my podcast, actually. My really good friend is the Phillies strength coach. So just talk to him. They're great, man. I think, they get hot. They're a team that people would want to see in the playoffs. They can swing the bat. Will the pitching hold up? I guess will always be the question. But you get Harper back and the rest of that lineup, man. I love that team. They can definitely play.
Yeah, I mean, Wheeler and Nola at the top. In a playoff series, who knows? I'd roll the dice with that, with the way they can swing the bat.
Yeah, that's the biggest thing when it comes to the playoffs, and that's what's, my preseason pick was the Mets because of DeGrom and Scherzer, and once you get into a playoff series like that, man, you're facing those guys 2 times. That's scary. And this, Nola and Wheeler are along those lines. I would put DeGrom and Scherzer above them, but Nola and Wheeler can be along those lines of dominant in those games.
That's one of my other questions. Like, if you're the Dodgers, who do you think the Dodgers want to avoid? Like the Mets? Would they rather play the Mets or the Braves? I think they'd rather play the Braves.
Oh, absolutely.
Just because it has pitchers.
Yeah.
I would agree, right? Because if you're talking about a 7-game series, you're going to see the 2 of them 2 times. So those are 4 games right there. And that, if they pitch like they can, that might be it, no matter how good you are. And the Dodgers, their guys are kind of hurt from the pitching side. Bueller would be one of those guys for them, and he's out. And obviously they have Kershaw still, but he's been banged up this year. The Dodgers just win. That lineup is unbelievable, but when it comes to the pitching, it's still the Mets would really scare me if I was anybody.
That's one of the
playoffs are pitching.
Yeah, that's one of the things that I love most about baseball is watching a guy like a Max Scherzer or, back with the Phillies, Roy Halladay, just to go out there and work and give me 7 or 8 innings and watch these guys just freaking battle. That's the game to me.
It's 2 grandmaster chess players playing against each other. It's incredible.
Yeah, both those guys are phenomenal. I love watching them pitch. Didn't love facing them. But they are they're fantastic. They're 2 of the best, if not the 2 best. And I enjoy watching them. If you can't enjoy watching Scherzer pitch, man, I mean, DeGrom is just next level.
Nasty.
Just ridiculous. Scherzer is ridiculous too, but Scherzer is just such a competitor.
He's
man,
a bulldog.
Dude, on the mound, I'm like,
he's sweating. I mean,
he's fucking into it.
It's just great.
Exactly. So it's awesome, and it was. I love watching it. It was funny facing him, doing that, knowing what he's like up there. But you get him in a playoff game like that. I mean, come on, that guy. That's
you've already struck out before the at bat even starts a lot of the time. Facing a guy like that, like the reputation. Let me ask you: when you played Major League Baseball, who's the one pitcher when you throw it, you're just like, "There's no way I can get anything on this," because for you, it just didn't play into your strengths. You just couldn't see the ball well out of his hand. Who's that one pitcher that keeps you up at night?
That's a very good question. Like I said, I pinch
Randy
hit against
Johnson
Scherzer.
Was that guy for a lot of because if you were a left-handed hitter, I mean, he was throwing it like his arm was behind your back where he released it from.
Yeah.
If I was facing Randy Johnson, it would absolutely be him.
It's ridiculous. So long.
Yeah, sure. I pinch hit against both Scherzer and DeGrom last year, but I actually hit the ball pretty well off both of them. I hit it hard at least. God,
but into the shift.
That's a tough one.
See, if they didn't have the shift,
one was into the shift. I thought I got DeGrom for a second, but it died on me on the warning track. But Scherzer was into the shift. It was. I would say honestly, I was teammates with him last year, but when he was in Chicago, we faced Yu Darvish, and he owned my life. Absolutely owned everything. I think it was like a Wednesday night ESPN game in Chicago, and I was like starter in center field, and I went 0 for 3 with 2 punch outs, and he broke my bat into a million pieces. So that was probably the roughest game in my career facing. Yu's got unbelievable stuff, man.
He's with your Padres now, right? Yeah.
Yep. He's very, very, very good, man. And
he just saw you off on that broken bat.
Oh yeah, I was 0 for 2 with 2 strikeouts, and I'm like, man, I'll be ready to hit this one. And it was a cutter, and it started down the middle, and it ended up on my thumbs. So
wow,
that was it. It was a tough one.
That's awesome.
What's your World Series pick before we let you go?
Before the season started, I went Mets, White Sox with the Mets winning. So the White Sox pick is coming on a little bit here, but
yeah.
If I was changing that, I would go Mets and Astros because the Astros just don't lose somehow ever. They're so ridiculous too.
Filthy. Verlander is sick.
Yeah,
Jesus,
man, they're phenomenal.
Did you ever face him?
No, I haven't gotten Verlander.
Yeah,
and I faced a lot of the either as a pinch hitter or spot starts as a lefty, I get the good righties because sometimes guys have something that bothers them all of a sudden that on those days, where they're facing the aces. But no, I haven't gotten Verlander. He's been unbelievable. There's really nothing you can say about him. He's out there throwing 100 miles an hour still after his second Tommy John. So he's amazing. But
it's incredible.
Yeah, I'd like to see something. I don't know, the Mets and somebody just to shake it up. I don't really want to see the Dodgers in there.
No,
and there against a little Padres bias coming out there too. Yeah, I would. The White Sox, they have the talent to go on a run too. It might be too little, too late, but like we talked about it, I'll stick with the Mets and that two-headed monster up there in a playoff series.
There you go.
Some sports are better when certain teams are involved. Baseball is better when the Mets are involved, for sure.
Yeah,
it's just the way it is.
I agree.
I hate them, but it's the fact of the matter. You can't hate a team that sucks all the time. You hate teams that are good.
I would love to see a Subway series. I'll say that with the Mets coming.
That would
coming
be good.
Out of it.
Oh,
I didn't think the Yankees were going to be very good this year, but Aaron Judge has put together an all-time season.
They had an unbelievable first half, and then they went into a big slump, and now they're back out of it.
Yeah, they had some injuries, so we'll see if those guys can get healthy. It's funny. Matt Carpenter was really turned into a huge part of that team.
Yeah,
and once he got hurt, that was pretty bad news for them because Judge can't do it all by himself, as you've seen recently, even though he hits a home run every game. But
Carpenter was one of those guys on those Cardinals teams where you're like, man, how the hell can they not get this guy out?
Yeah.
Like, you just
you
look at him and you're thinking like, this guy, how can this guy hit? And he's
talk about the shift. The shift killed him for a few years there after he was an unbelievable hitter, and then figured out how to hit the ball in the air a little bit more and use that short porch once he got to New York. And man, he was phenomenal. So I'd love to see it. I'd love to see the Mets win that series, but we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. That's the Philly in me coming out.
There you go.
I love it.
Philly there.
Hey, Brian, we appreciate it, man.
Yeah,
Thanks for the knowledge, man. Best of luck with the rest of the season over in Japan, and we'll get you back when you get back stateside.
Yeah, thank you guys for having me. Anytime, I'd love to come back, and I apologize again. This next time, I'll definitely make sure it'll be.
Now, we got to talk about hockey. It really pumped Harry up.
No, we got like an extra 3 minutes of hockey talk, so I was blown away. Breaking Bats is the podcast. You got to listen to it. Not for Long Network. Great baseball stuff with Brian O'Grady. Thanks so much.
Thanks for having me, guys. Take it easy.
There he is, Brian O'Grady. That was awesome. He's a good guy.
Yeah, I love
Local guy. Yeah. God, I want to go to Japan.
That we woke him up, to come on to the show.
Yeah.
Right? I don't think he has any problem falling asleep. You know why?
Why? Som sleep?
Som sleep. If you're having trouble getting enough sleep at night, Som sleep, they got you covered. The scientifically advanced Som stack includes ingredients that are naturally found in your body like GABA, GABA, magnesium, and melatonin. Sleep is the best form of recovery, and it has helped Not For Long founder and NFL tight end Colin Thompson take his game to the next level. And it's quite simple. All you got to do is drink one serving just 30 minutes before bed, and your body will naturally calm itself down. Jason, you need to be calmed down. You need this Som sleep. Other sleep supplements, they leave you groggy in the morning, but not Som sleep. You're going to wake up feeling refreshed and ready to conquer the day. Make sure you check them out at getsom.com. That's GETSOM.com. And the code word is G's, JEEZ, for 10% off your order. So get Som sleep.
I like that. It's got GABA in it. I take, before I go to bed already, I take something called gabapentin.
Is that right?
Do you know what gabapentin is?
No.
What it's used for?
No.
It's actually used for to treat like seizures and nerve pain. And it's also for what I take it for, which is RLS.
Oh, restless leg.
Yes, the twitchers, the Jimmy legs.
No way. You got the RLS, huh?
Oh, yeah. I'd be booting the old lady all night when I slept in the same bed with her.
Is that right?
Yeah.
So you're in separate beds.
Oh yeah, she gets good sleep and I get good sleep. She goes to
Oh,
bed too fucking early.
oh man.
Not having it. I
See,
was watching TV on my iPad in bed with headphones for years. Now I
wow,
sleep in the studio.
my old lady would not. She would not allow that.
She said, "I'm not dealing with this today."
No, yeah, she's like, because I've offered. I've said, because I used to have a snoring issue, and it's not bad anymore, but I used to have it. And I was like, I'm going to offer to sleep in the other bed. And she's like, no, like she didn't want it. So
Wow.
yeah,
She wanted H right next to her.
exactly.
She wake up and go, "We H." Oh, it's classic.
That was good talking to Brian, though. He seems like a really cool dude, man.
I love sitting down with those guys. Like, I mean, guys that have faced somebody like DeGrom or Scherzer.
Yeah.
Like, what is that like?
I know.
Yeah.
I know.
I have all these, like, I feel like the Hagen. Like, what are these thinking?
I mean, what is
But like, I want to like go like to every sport. I have like these certain questions. Like, I always want to ask baseball players like that, like what it's like to face some dude that is so dominant, or like I want to ask like Max Verstappen, the F1 driver, like when you get done a race of driving 210 miles an hour, what's it like getting in the rental car?
Yeah.
And driving to the airport.
Right. How do you decompress from that?
You must feel like you're going like 4 miles an hour.
Yeah, that's a great question.
I always wondered that. Like, what's it got to be like after being like a NASCAR driver? You just drive 500 miles around Daytona going 200 miles an hour. And you get in the rental car to go to the airport.
Yeah.
And you got to take a right and you got to go 45. Like, what's the deal?
Yeah.
I wonder what that feels like.
I mean,
can you get Dale Earnhardt Jr. on the show? Let's tell the people about Wealth Advisors.
Yes. Wealth Advisory Services. If you don't know them, you should. Paul, Dave, and their team have over 100 years of first-class service working with all different levels of investors across the country. There's something more powerful than luck or coincidence to bring financial independence within reach. It's called planning. As professionals dedicated to continuing education and a high standard of ethics, we leave nothing to chance. Wealth Advisory Services coordinate with other trusted professionals to ensure seamless management of your assets with services that range from portfolio management, insurance, tax, estate planning, retirement planning, and beyond. They're located in Bucks County, PA, and Cape May, New Jersey. WealthAdvisoryServices.com, a personalized approach to managing your wealth.
And let's tell people one more time about BetParx, because you brought up the line earlier that New England is favored
by two.
By two now in Pittsburgh.
At Pittsburgh.
Matter of fact, my brother-in-law and father-in-law are going to the game.
They are?
Weekend at the stadium formerly known as Heinz Field.
Yeah. I know.
So they have season tickets for the Steelers that they split with like their uncle and stuff. And they're on their way out there Friday to the game. So good on them. They'll enjoy it. But that's a line that's screaming at you. Now, Tom Brady and Giselle seem to be having some problems, Harry. And Tampa Bay's headed to the New Orleans to take on the Saints. Is that something that you would consider putting into play on the BetParx app?
I got my hair cut today, right, with my stylist, and she's a Stiller fan. Okay,
and she's a smoke show.
She is.
I'll tell you, everybody you have working for you is a smoke show.
Exactly right. Yes.
Dermatologist, smoke show. Stylist, smoke show.
Exactly. But I asked her, I said, what do you think about this weekend? I said, they're underdogs at home. And she says, well, I have Tom Brady and I have Kirk Cousins as my fantasy quarterbacks. And I said, you know what? I think I'd start Cousins. She's like, what? I go, yeah, I kind of think he's playing the Eagles.
Yeah.
I think there's going to be a lot of points scored in that game.
Yeah. Well, looking at the defense last week, for sure.
Oh, yeah.
And Tom Brady and Giselle, they're like they're having a hard time apparently. So maybe his eyes off.
New Orleans always plays Tampa tough in the regular season. I mean, the year they won the Super Bowl, what was it, 2 years ago? New Orleans beat them both times in the regular season, and I think they faced them in the playoffs. I think that year, and then Tampa, of course, won. But
it went all the way, and Brady got the chip again. Yeah, that'll be an interesting game. Great one to get in on the BetParx app. Good card this weekend. College card, pro card. Still got Major League Baseball. Still got tennis. Still got a Formula One. Got golf. It's all there for you to put your plays in on. Make sure you do it and use the promo code Jason750, Jason750. That'll get you a risk-free bet up to $750 for new and existing users. Terms and conditions do apply. And make sure you get the BetParx app. You're going to love it. Live in-game betting, play-by-play betting, futures, you name it. Player performance is all there for you. So get the BetParx app today. You do need to be over 21 and present in Pennsylvania or New Jersey. Gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER. All right, Harry, that's going to put an end on it. It's a good episode.
Right.
We'll be back next week for week 3 of the NFL season, another college football week as well. So everybody enjoy the week. Leave us a 5-star rating and review. Matter of fact, we got some new reviews. We'll read them on next week's show.
Oh, good. I love reviews.
Yeah.
Good and bad.
Exactly right.
Yeah.
So everybody have a great week. We'll talk to you next week on BetParx Presents the Odd G's podcast.